Vaughn. Juan. Juan. Yep. Mike, let's do this.
Let's get these guys going, shall we?
Yeah, let's not all clip in at the same time. So like, let's go. Everybody's sitting around. All right.
On this ride, I left Northampton, rolled into the woodlands, pick up the group at the Alden Village Center. We headed out on Honea-Egypt Road all the way into Honea. We took Raven Chapel, got on Millwright. When we hit Millwright, there was a big crash. Before we got to 2854, you'll see all of that. We captured it all on film. And then after Taco, we continued into the forest on Mount Pleasant Road, came down 149. I went back when we're in the forest to get some of the riders that had fallen off the pace. And then we came to Spring Branch Road, Keenan-Cutoff, the Hills Parkway, back into town. I filmed until we hit the end of Grand Lake Estates there. It was a very warm day. We had a great turnout. I think that you will love the clips we got for you. We're leaving the Alden Village Center in the Woodlands, Texas. It is 28 Celsius. It's almost 80 degrees at 7:09 in the morning. And we've kind of gotten accustomed to it, but I'm not sure who's singing, but I think it was coming to the frame a little bit. That's Laura. That's Mike Bradbury up there. We're doing shorter rides because of the temperatures so that we can get back. That's Juan. Juan is a pilot, so he gets a lot of time off the ride. I overheard him telling somebody he's going to Brazil this weekend after the ride. We've got a good turnout this morning. I started earlier than normal this morning because I really didn't ride much during the week. I was busy, so I needed to just spin. I didn't want to ride hard to the group start. So I started very early and spun out.
About 9 minutes or so, 10 minutes. One of our newest riders had a flat when she got here. Well, before she got here. So they were working on it.
Miss Tanya Blocker.
Stop it! Okay.
Turns out that guy's turning, but I wanted to make sure people didn't just come out. That's what you have to do. People behind you, you have to look out for everybody. That's Tanya right there in the chartreuse and black. Strong rider. She just decided to join us. And this is Preston on my left. And that's, I forgot his name. The Research Forest Boulevard in the Woodlands, Texas here. We kind of rolling out, warming up. Tanya rides with other groups, and she told Laura that she wanted to come join us, so Laura asked for us to add her so she could keep up. That's Jennifer behind me there. And when the crash occurs, it is clear that Jennifer is thinking, and I have prepared some sections where I slow it down so you can see. She's actually thinking about what to do. She did not panic at all. But she had no choice because there's a rider in the space that she could have gone into. So everything she did was perfect. There was not much I could do because there was a car coming. I saw the headlights, and it was like, you fall in front of me, I'm hitting you. I'm not going to hit a car. It's kind of like when you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off. You might as well run into the person instead of swerving and going in the ditch, and then you are one car wreck sitting in the ditch. T-bone that fool, so it's clear what happened. I mean, if you can avoid it, fine, but you don't want to end up looking like, what happened? How come you ran into the ditch? Because he's going to keep going. So that's what happened on this ride. It was like he fell right in front of me. I had nothing to do but go over him. I didn't fall. I unclipped, put my foot down, and held my bike. My handlebar twisted when it hit him, and then my wheel, later on I found out my carbon wheel has a small dent. it's still holding true, but it was a heck of an impact, and you will see that. So it was clear that he panicked and basically ran into the rider in front of him, and that's what caused the crash. That's what happens when you're not paying attention to the wheel in front of you, because somebody dropped the bottle's rolling. The guy in front of him on the left slowed down so the bottle could continue rolling until he wouldn't roll over it. And he panicked. So I don't believe he was paying that close attention. For some of these guys, they look around too much when they're in the pack. And I think that wheel came up on him too suddenly. And he froze up. I'm greeting this guy in Spanish.
Good morning. Solo today?
No, Paul's here. He was running a little behind. I didn't want to push to get up here, so I left earlier, but he got there when we were waiting. He's somewhere. He was going to keep rolling, he said.
Yeah, Paul showed up at the ride, but he told us he was going to keep rolling. We don't know what happened. We never hooked up with him, so he probably needed to get back in early. And then with the crashes and all the delays that we had. So Doug was asking if I was rolling solo. Yeah, I didn't want to push this morning, so I clicked in at 6:15 and headed out. I kind of want to start getting there early because these guys show up like 6:40 in the morning, 6:45. I don't want to get there at 6:58 or 7. I want to get there about 10-15 minutes before the ride starts.
Attack the hill, sit up.
For this week, I needed to get out and spin anyway because I didn't ride. And I'm glad I did because I felt better.
Those guys, if you get a route out to them and they kind of know what to expect, with everybody, they just kind of like to be prepared for what's happening.
Yeah, we're talking about how
what he does when they
the guys that were the guys from the Friends of Friends like to attack every car.
Learn, right? That's what he does. He just keeps going. He said, he told me one day, we're not waiting on him. We're not waiting on him. And he just keeps lifting the pace slowly and slowly. They learn. There's Kenny.
Yeah, so Kenny rode out from 2854 and the Fishcreek thoroughfare area to join us. He's on the right. So Kenny is the one that drops the bottle, but he apologized on the board, but I told him it's not your fault. You got to be prepared for dogs, potholes, cars that squeeze the group in the lane. There's a lot of stuff that happens.
3 to 5 degrees. So you feel all of a sudden it just gets hot.
And we're talking about the temperature changes. After 10 o'clock in the morning, it just jumps dramatically, so it gets extremely hot. So we're doing 100K. We're doing metric centuries thereabouts, so we can get back in 3 hours. So by 10:30, we're done.
2 different rides.
So I usually get home by 11:30, 11:45, because I ride another 45 minutes.
Especially when you stop. When you're moving, you got a little bit of breeze.
Well, actually, we had a nice little breeze out of the south.
These guys were waiting for us, so I put that arrow on.
Yeah.
You're spinning.
Same thing last weekend. Once we stopped, it seems hot.
So the ride has gotten faster. We have a lot of riders from another group called Friends of Friends that have been joining us regularly, and so the pace has really picked up. This is Logan here. So Logan's one of the people that were close to the crash. Logan, Jennifer, myself, and Max were behind Jerry when Preston panicked.
Yeah.
So the key is that when a wreck is happening or if something happens, try not to panic. Try to think about a way out. So if he had relaxed, nothing would have happened. But it's almost like he froze, and so he could not steer or anything. He just basically ran into the back of the bike in front of him. There was not a touch of wheels. It was a collision. It was a rear end collision. So it happens, and you got to try to learn. For what matters is that he learns from it, so that it doesn't reoccur. That's the key. If you learn from it, you're better off. But if you don't, then you keep making the same mistakes. Anything in life, So you got to figure out, what should I have done differently, or what could I have done differently to avoid it? If you do that, you're better off. That's the key. analyze it and think about it. Next time the same thing happens, then you will relax because you know what to do. You guys that have been on the channel for a while, you remember one time I had a touch of wheels with one guy. I believe it was Tim. And he was even surprised. He's like, man, a great bike handling. Because I didn't do anything. The wheel hit his wheel and bounced back off. I just let things happen. I didn't overcorrect. When you freeze up, you can't steer. That's when you have problems. And you see Logan handled it really well. He didn't do anything because he was on the right. He just kept going instead of trying to, you know, do any kind of reactions or whatever. So I just saw the whole thing play in front of me. It was like slow motion, and I knew there was nowhere to go. I'm not going to go in front of a car. If you fall in front of me, I'm going to hit you. You know, and there was a car coming. There was no room. Even if the car wasn't there, I didn't have time to steer because it was just sudden. So I have it in regular speed and slow motion. And it's faster in real life than what you're going to see on the camera anyway. It seemed that way anyway. It appeared to be slow motion, but I realized there was nothing I could do. So since I knew I was going over him, I unclipped as I went over him and put my foot down, because by that time I had scrubbed off enough speed, and so I did not fall. But the bike hit him and twisted, so I just held my bike. And you will see that bike never even touched the ground. I was very surprised because I expected to fall. I'm going to go over here and push this pedestrian signal, because there are no cars behind us, to get the group across. This is 1488 at Egypt Lane. So at this point, we're looking for Paul. I think I'm going to ask these guys if they saw him. I don't know if I do it on camera or not, because he said he was going to keep rolling. So I expected to see him out here.
I thought Paul was in the parking lot. I don't see him. He was there. He said he was going to go roll, but I don't know where he went to roll.
I think he went rolling ahead.
So Abby thinks that he's rolling ahead. It's Jerry. Jerry is the guy that gets run into.
From another mother. How you
This
doing?
is Abby, my brother from another mother. Abby and I are from the same continent of Africa. Abby is from Nigeria.
We're gonna
I
go
am from
mill
Liberia.
route, to Taco, and then go in the forest.
We are 2 hours away by air, kind of like from Houston to Chicago. It's a 2-hour flight to Nigeria from where I grew up. I'm on the western
all the way
coast.
on Egypt.
He's
Yeah,
more
all the way on
central.
Egypt, the Raven Chapel, and then mill route to Taco, and then we're gonna go in the forest and turn left at 149 to come back.
I'm letting Jerry know what the route is. Yes.
It's about 62 miles from there. And that way bring us back before it gets too hot, because the temperatures jump after like 9-10 o'clock. They jump like 3 to 5 degrees. So it doesn't feel gradual anymore.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
you be
it's
riding, it just gets
the
hot.
spice just gets hot.
But this week the weather is cooling down a bit. We got a little bit of rain in the region. Louisiana, Southeast Texas. It kind of missed our area where we live, and then jumped over us and rained in Conroe. So go figure. So I figure we'll pick up Paul. Abby said, I think he went ahead or whatever. It turns out I never got to see him, but I think somebody said he was at Taco when we got there. But I got there afterwards, as I stayed behind to make sure the guy was okay after the crash. He ended up having a broken spoke, so they turned around, and Jennifer and John Z rode back with him. But everybody was all right, you know. It's the spectacular crashes that don't do too much damage. It's the simple looking ones that do a lot of damage when you're not going very fast, because you hit the ground in one spot. Because this crash was spectacular. It was sliding all over the road. so because of, the lycra and stuff we wear, all of that makes a little bit of a difference. He had a little bit of road rash on his right side of his knee, but just light abrasions. Nothing deep.
You know
So
how
that
your
was
pedal
good.
broke on the last ride? You know how your pedal broke on the last ride?
Yeah.
My right shifter broke last week on Sunday. Yeah, there's a spring in there.
Yeah.
Over time.
Yeah,
it can be replaced.
Yeah.
But it's like, meticulous maintenance work.
Yeah.
So I ordered the kit.
Yeah, my
okay.
To rebuild it on the blue
Campagnolo
bike,
rear
yeah.
shifter, the
That's the
ergo
bike I
power,
use the most.
the
so
spring
got the
has
most work.
I
padded
have
with the blue
interesting
bike.
things.
So I'm riding the orange one. I ordered the kit to rebuild it.
Okay.
With his own pedal too. The same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know this thing broke like that.
No, but
What we're talking about is Abby rides speed play pedals. And those of you who are familiar with it,
Yeah, yeah.
the cleat is really most of the pedal, and then you have that little shaft and a circular
Exceeded the
looking
service life.
disc that's attached to it. The circular disc that's on the shaft that's attached to the bike
But you know,
broke off
maybe you
and
should
stayed in the
kind
cleat.
of gauge it so it
On a
doesn't
ride.
happen because you might.
He
It's
said
kind
it's
of
just
dangerous
he
if your foot
exceeded
just
the
slips off of
kilometers.
it.
Yeah, because
Yeah, so
the good thing was he was
maybe when you
seated.
get close, I would just replace it. You know.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
Yeah.
He said he put 40,000 miles on it. That exceeded what the manufacturer said. So you hear me suggest
just
just replace
okay,
both
about
of them.
35,000. I got to start thinking about,
Yeah. No, you're right.
Because
I'll probably change the other one too.
Yeah, I would put new
Yeah,
pair.
he needs to change the pair.
Yeah,
change
new
the
pair. Do the whole pair. Yeah. Because it's just worn. It's like fatigue. The fatigue. Yeah. Because when your foot slips like that, sometimes you may not expect it.
Yeah, I know.
You may be standing
Exactly. I was just so glad
that you were seated.
I was seated, but I sensed something was wrong.
Okay, it felt loose.
Yeah, something I just felt. Probably I was thinking it was my cleats.
Okay.
So he felt a lot of play. Okay.
You felt a lot of play, probably.
Yeah. And I'm trying to say, okay, what's going on?
Speed play is really cool in
good.
that.
I like how you can adjust the play without
Yeah.
moving the pedal, you know?
That's right,
I
yeah.
love that feature of that. But you
Yeah,
have to
speed play
lose
has
those cleats
a good
every so
range of
often.
adjustment.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's
I
very
would-
involved. It's
I
very
would
with flexibility
definitely
comes a lot of responsibility.
put like a
It
memo
gives you
and
so
just-
much that you
But
can
definitely replace the
get
pair.
a little crazy with it. Yeah, this guy waits for us. I thank him as I go by. We're going to be turning left. He will follow us for a while before he comes around. And I tried my best. I tried my hardest to get these guys to do single file, but nobody was paying attention. A few people were, but single file helps them get around you. They can see around you easier. But, it's a big group, I guess. Riding two abreast has its merits because it's a shorter group to pass. Plus,
Let's go single
they're not
file,
gonna
guys.
they're not gonna
Car
sneak in your
back.
lane.
Let
So I
this gentleman
suggested-
go.
I wanted them to let him
That
go
was
by,
so
but
nice to us.
this is another rider joining us that was waiting for the group here. That's the
Car
reason I
back.
put the route out there. Everybody gets the route. They have access to it, so they know where we're going. And so I don't like to really change the beginning part, maybe later. That way
go single file,
they don't
car
miss
back.
us. Yeah, they just, I guess they didn't hear it. So he sits there patiently and he waits, and then he'll go around when it's clear, And he goes around quickly so that a car does not come while he's trying to pass. That's another reason for doing the single file on these kind of roads, so they can see around you. You see where Darren is? That is the perfect spot to be in. Right where the right tire of these cars ride. It's clean, and they have to move over to come around you so they don't skim by your elbow. That's where a lot of motorcyclists ride their motorcycles. So they're not close to that yellow line, just in case the drivers drift. There's a trash can literally on the road there. Guess it's trash day. But I wouldn't put my trash can on the road. He's over the white line, and this road has no shoulder.
Car back.
So
Single
somebody
file.
can hit it. I'm trying to let them know, and it just, some people do, and some people don't. So once we go around the curve, he will have a better sight line, and then he will go. I think somewhere here, because you can begin to see now. Right here. I don't know if there's a car coming or not. Yeah, it looks like there is. So that's what he's waiting on. What I'm seeing here is what he's saying. I'm intentionally at the back, and that's how come I ended up involved in that crash anyway. But crashes can happen anywhere in the group, but more often than not, they'll happen at the back because a lot of riders that are out of shape or inexperienced have a tendency to stay back there. That's him going around. But it doesn't matter where you are, you just have to find a way out. And you'll see how Jennifer ended up making sure that she fell in the dirt. So she just got a dirty leg, no cuts or anything. So nobody broke anything, you know. So Jerry, he had a bit of a sore knee, but he said he was fine after the ride. So when we got the taco, he went with another group just to, I guess they were going further, and he wanted to get more miles. So he's the one that gets run into, Jerry. He didn't do anything wrong. The bottle was rolling from left to right. So he slowed down to let the bottle roll. He did not overreact. I think the rider behind him, somebody yells bottle. And I don't know if it scared him or not. It's kind of like somebody yelling dog. You need to basically look and see what's going on. You don't need to panic. So I saw the bottle rolling, and all you do is, if the bottle rolling, make sure you don't roll over the bottle, because that's the risk is the bottle. Because you roll over that bottle, you're not prepared, it can cause you to fall. That's why people say bottle. They don't mean for you to panic, you know. So, you know, it comes with experience. The person just needs more experience, more comfort riding with the group, that's all. Somebody has a flat here. I believe it's Max. He's pulling in there.
Flat tire.
And we're going so fast, so I slow down. And I'm going to turn around. I turn around in a big gear, and this is a climb. It's like a 5% climb when you turn. So it's clear I'm going to turn around. At this point, I'm not sure if they even heard that we have a mechanical. I'm waiting. I think I'll wait for that car. Because once you turn around, there weren't. Yeah, there's 3 or 4 people there, but I turn around anyway. Go up there and make sure he has everything he needs. And on this ride, I really don't have any flat tubes. I have my sew-ups, my tubular tires. So I have Stan's no seal with me. That's what I carry when I ride those. They're on my Zip 303 wheels. So yeah, there are cars behind me, so I get on this side of the road because they're right here in this driveway. It's climbing, and I'm gonna get in. I always try to be aware of what the other road users are doing, and you should too if you're on the road. In a little bit, I'm going to help hold the bike. A lot of the carbon wheels, the tires are very tight. So what he's doing is he's breaking the seal where the bead is sitting on the bead. He pushed it to the middle a little bit to help Max get it off. So Max is using 2 levers to lift enough of it to spin it out.
Okay. Spin that thing, make sure it's not rubbing on anything.
I edited, of course, so we got it aired up and everything. There was nothing in the tire. He hit something small that caused a flat, and we're good to go. Check the rear brakes. Everything's back in. He's loading up. He's put his bag on there. I think his bag actually ends up falling, and somebody picks it up for him.
Take your time. Make sure it's in there. You don't drop it.
He's got one of these bags that attaches to the bottom of the saddle.
All right, guys.
Let's try it again. I think he must have dropped when we're off camera. And now he's ready. So we're not sure if those guys are waiting or not. So we decide we're just going to ride north. I'm holding the camera today. I held the camera through the crash. It never fell. I didn't fall. So if your bike fits you and you have decent handling, you should be able to hold food in your hand and ride the bike. Because people ask us all the time, how can you hold that? How can you do that? Well, the camera is sitting in my hand. My fingers are long enough to hit the brakes. So if you have that situation, then it's not a problem.
You're waiting up there.
You know, you should be able to hold a pen in your hand and ride. Let's put as an example, or a banana in your hand.
Corner.
I see them in the distance at that corner. There's a road called Mulligan Road. There's a golf course to the east of this area here. And so they named that road Mulligan. Those of you who play golf, you know what that means. You get a free shot or you get a drop or something. I think it's a free shot. You basically, if the ball is in a place where you can't play it. Now, mulligan means you get a drop, I guess. You lose, I think you lose one of your, you know how you get like a par 3, you lose one. So if it happens on par 1, then you at your third shot, you lose the second shot. You lose a shot and get a drop. If the ball goes in the lake or something like that. There's Mulligan Drive right there. It goes to a golf course back there that hits Fishcreek. Back in the day, that was the only way to get across up here. They used to allow us to go through there. It's a private drive. So the group saw us coming and they've taken off. They're not going full speed. So we're going to ride up to the back of the group. And not all groups will wait for you when you have a flat. You must carry what you need all the time on every ride, with or without a group. Because there are some groups that will not wait or they won't know. If you're at the back, stuff happens. You need to be able to fix your flat, know how to do it. You may not have help all the time. But our group, we kind of look out for each other. There are other groups like this that do that. But on an open ride where you just show up somewhere to ride, unless you have some mates that you're close to, you pretty much got to be able to fend for yourself. There are some groups that will basically announce that you need to make sure you have what you need. And they will even make sure you have the route. That's another reason I post the route. Because if you're not having a mechanical, we're not going to wait for you. You can ride to the store. That will encourage you to keep training to ride with the group if the group is fast. And you leave the group riding during the week, and you work on those areas of your weakness and come back the next week. That's what encourages you to keep coming back. So these guys, the situation that happened with the crash, one of the persons that crashed sent me a message asking what could she have done differently. And I told him nothing. I said, everything you did was wrong. And I was not BSing. That was just a fact. And you will see it on film. So whether you crash by yourself or whether you hit a pothole or whether a dog runs in your path when you're riding solo, always ask yourself, could I have done anything differently to avoid the outcome if you didn't like the outcome? And hitting the ground is never a good outcome. But what she did was she made sure she hit the dirt. So that was smart. That was clear that she was thinking. And that was a very good option that she utilized. Because sometimes you can overthink it. But based on what was going on, she had nowhere to go. And you will see that. That's what I told her. So you handled it perfectly. I had nowhere to go. I had to go over him. That was my option. That was my best option. Because I'm not going in front of a car. Even though the driver ended up slowing down because he saw us falling all over the road. And it's a small, quiet road, mill route. It's like a residential road, so narrow, almost like a path. But always make your decision away from traffic. Go to the right. In these countries like ours where we ride on the right, make a decision to the right. I'd much rather go into a ditch than run into a car. So yeah, make a decision to the right. Get out of the way. And what she did was she went into the grass / pine needles. I was on the side of the road, so she had a nice soft fall. And that's what happens when you don't panic. You assess and you make a choice and you go with it. And then you can come back later and analyze and say, maybe next time I will do that. That's okay to do that, but you do what you have to do in the moment because you don't have much time. Or I made up my mind, say, I hope he's got a strong back because I'm going over this guy. So as soon as I hit him, I unclipped. Because when you hit, the bike is going to tip. So I went backwards, put my weight on the saddle, hit him, unclipped, put my foot down. So then the bike just lay down while I was still holding it with the camera. You will see everything. The bike never hit the ground. I was very surprised. I expected I was going to hit the ground, but it didn't happen. So I guess I had scrubbed up enough speed at that time. It was too sudden. Even though it was quick, it seemed to be like slow motion. That's where those things happen. So it was an interesting incident, a nice teaching moment. That's Jerry. What Jerry does is he'll go behind the group. He's going the opposite way. He's going to turn around, but he's going to stay behind us probably, let's say, a quarter mile or so. Then he will ride up to us. So he does his intervals that way, or whatever segment he has on his computer. He downloads the segments from Strava. Those of you who have a paid account on Strava, if you don't know, you have access to segments. You can download all the segments in your area, and it will beep and let you know when you're in an area where there's a segment coming up. If you're into that thing, Jerry goes for a lot of KOMs. So that's one of the things he uses to motivate him to push on certain parts of his rides. Whatever gets you going, That's what he's doing. So right now, I didn't turn the camera around, but he's at least a quarter mile behind us. That's his normal thing. And that's a good way to do it too, ride up to the group from the back. I do that during the week when I ride with some groups, because if I sit in the pace line, my heart rate gets too low. So I will sit off the back. I'm not sure what he's looking behind. If I even said it, what are we looking behind for?
You're looking behind.
I'm the only one back here. I'm just sitting, Now he rides up to go talk to somebody. All that wasted energy. It's like, we're in a pace line, you're going to ride and sit by the yellow line, and this road is narrow. These are the things that do that doesn't compute with me. I'm like, where did they train during the week? You're not going to ever see me over there. The road is not closed. I'm not going to sit over there because the people coming the opposite way, you're too close to them. Please. You got to give yourself a buffer.
Sit out next to the yellow line.
That's what I told her. I said, you must like sitting next to the yellow line. You see that truck coming over?
Your ass in the line.
I told one guy, I said, when they buzz you a couple of times, you stay away from the middle of the road. I stay on to the right half of every lane. You see where Darren is right there? That's about as far as I'll go. Even if we're riding two abreast, we use half of the lane. When Paul and I are riding, where Darren is and where Kenny is, that's where the two of us are. We use half of the lane, so you have that room. And the pace line we used to do when I competed, we would do the same thing. We would use a good section of the rim, but then when we peel off, we'd peel off like on both sides. So you have somebody peeling off towards the yellow line, somebody peeling off towards the white line, and then the group is in the middle. But we're tight. We're not all over the road. When you're tight like that, the drivers know what you're doing, then they can pass you with confidence. And when you got guys like that trying to show off, pedaling there for like 10 yards and sit up. So the driver behind is thinking, okay, what is he doing? Can I pass? Or, that's what I mean. When you watch the WCC guys, Moore's group, they're tight, it's uniform, just solid. So as a result, they're predictable. I'm trying to get these guys to stop all this foolishness moving around all over the road for what? Get in the line and stay in the draft. If you're going to move to the left, go to the front and go take a pull. Otherwise, sit in. You're not impressing anybody. You want to show off like they got some form, you go 10 yards and sit up, please. This is Tommaso Anselmi, Italiano. One of the big boys. Thomas has to do a lot of high watts to go over these little bumps. You got to do what you got to do. His riding has improved, in the last few months that we've been riding with him. He's been making nice gains. But what he does not burn himself out. If the pace keeps getting crazy, what he does is he will let the group go and he'll keep riding at his pace and catch back up when we stop at the stops because he has the route. And eventually you continue to do that, you will improve. instead of blowing up because you want to force yourself too much and then you're pedaling squares. So this area is his terrain. We're going downhill. It favors his body type. So you can see he's riding up to the group. Once we start getting into all those little short rollers, then what he does, he lets us go and he keeps his effort steady. As the French say, head and legs. You have to ride with your head and your legs. Tête à jambe. Those guys are over the yellow line because it's smoother there because they've scraped this road. I'm just riding this and it feels good with my sew-ups. It soaks up those ripples like it's nothing. So the tires do make a difference and the pressure you put on them. I run about 95 PSI in my tires. Put 90 in the front, 95 in the back. And they're just very supple. You don't need super high pressures on these kind of surfaces. You're not riding a velodrome. This guy on the right expends a lot of unnecessary energy. I'm watching him. I don't know what he's talking to Thomas about, but I don't think this is the time to talk. This is a grade right here, and it's gonna stay like this. And it's gonna go 2%. Then yeah, there you go, 2%. Then that Leah drive is gonna kick up. This is not the time to talk. I don't like to talk when I'm riding. I want to focus and listen to the sensations of my body. I want to pay attention to my breathing. How do my legs feel? Even though I can talk, I don't want to talk. And because I wasn't talking, that's how come I didn't end up on the pavement. Because I was watching everything. I saw the bottle. I saw the reaction to the bottle. I saw everything happen. That's what's important. That's why you shouldn't be chatting in the pace line too much. Unless it's absolutely necessary. Focus. Watch what's happening. It's kind of like when you're driving down the road. If you look behind you and then turn around and see brake lights, you end up slamming on your brakes because you weren't paying attention. That's probably what happened to him. They're always looking around. So Thomas wants to get behind this guy to save energy, I guess. The pace is steady, but the road is going up, so he's having to work harder. I'm doing 200 and something watts. Usually I would do more than this. I think this bike is more efficient or something. I don't know. Everything seemed to be a little easier. I'm not sure why that guy's going back. Maybe he didn't like the pace. So I'll go around Thomas. I know he's going to hold his speed steady. I just remain seated. I have the camera in my left hand. And with the way my week went riding, I rode like one day for I think maybe 90 minutes or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel. But going out and spinning made a difference. Somebody, the driver's blowing at that rider. I think that's Kenny. He was on the yellow line. Somebody lifted the pace, so I went around this guy. And the only reason I'm going around those guys is I feel good. They seem to be struggling because, I don't know. I guess it's just the pace. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know if I turn the camera around. I think I do, yes. You can see they're all scattered back there. They didn't like this pace. So my training has been haphazard because I've been busy with other things that I also enjoy doing. And, you know, it is what it is. Cycling is a part of my life. It's not my entire life. So what I do is, depending on how my week goes, on Saturday, I ride differently based on how my training has been going. And so because I've been using my head, that's why I'm staying with these guys here. And they're going very hard to where you saw the group break up back there. Because I didn't waste any energy. I've been sitting in. Instead of trying to look cute by riding on the left side of the group. So I'm an old dog in this, so I use my head. I turned off the power. The light's red. There's no point to keep pedaling. I'm turning it off right now, just waiting. I think we came across one of their buddies up here or something. He's greeting somebody. We have a lot of guys from Mexico, I believe Costa Rica, and different places here. With the friends of friends guys. So they'll be in the place I'm speaking Spanish. I know enough Spanish to get in trouble. I can pick up the theme of what they're saying sometimes because I can understand some of the words, but I don't get all of it. This is the FM 2854. We are in Honea-Egypt. Going to Ribbon Chapel. We're going to turn right. And that's another grade. That's why I love to go north. You get to work. You get home and feel like, yeah, I got to work out. Even if the wind's behind you, you get to work. There's a bunch of gravel or something. There's a pipe. Looks like a pipe on the road. People like to drop debris on the road. It's kind of rude. You hit me in a car. I don't want to roll over that thing. Hit the underside of the car. This is Warren here spinning his tail off. He's going to let us go. That's the pilot I'm talking about. We end up hooking up with him on 149. He had a flat he was fixing. Basically, when we stopped, he kept going. Because he knew we were going to catch up with him. But he's a funny guy. He said, I kept going because I knew you guys were going to go so fast. I didn't want to go as fast. Which is something you can do. You know, the group stops. If you load up, you can leave early. And then you ride up ahead. And then when they come, you hang with them for a while.
You're going to sit your butt by the yellow line. You better make sure you know where the cars are. I ain't saying nothing. Get buzzed a few times in the road.
Yeah, these guys ride like the roads are closed. Look at the guy on the left there, all the way over the yellow line. What is that about? This lane is wide enough. I don't say anything. You get buzzed a couple of times, you'll get off there. You'll be sitting out there, you better pay attention. And that's why they blow at you. If I'm driving my car and you sitting on the yellow line, I'm going to blow at you too. I'm not going to go past right by your elbow. I'm going to blow so you can move over so I can pass safely. They ride a lot and act like they just started riding. So when drivers are blowing their horn, they're for different reasons. They're not all angry horns. They're blowing their horn because they can't tell what you're doing. If you're predictable, they will blow at you. When you get on the road, you got to be serious about it. It's not a playground. So don't be flipping people off when they blow. There's a different reason of blowing. You know, you got to pay attention to what you're doing. What made that driver blow? If he's just a jerk, that's fine. You don't want to flip him off anyway because you're just going to escalate the situation and you ignore it. But if you're doing something that's causing them to blow, then you need to make some adjustments. We just passed Capitol Hill Road there. That's the road we come down when we come from Fishcreek. And right here is a slight grade, and then it kind of has ripples, and then we go to that big climb after the stop sign. The ride was fast, period. I mean, we're doing 22, 23 the whole time. And as fast as we're going, I'm watching these guys. It's almost like we have a double pace line, which doesn't make any sense. So some people are wasting energy. Logan has a pump in his jersey. I think it makes more sense to carry a pump. I've done the other stuff. You end up just buying CO2 cartridges and they're kind of lumpy when you put them in it. They have like a bit of a dead weight, whereas these pumps are nice and light. And you don't have to buy them. You just buy one pump and you're done. And then how often do you really have a flat? You know. So after the experience of running out of cartridges many years ago, I just decided, because back in the day, we used to have a frame pump that stayed on the bike. And it was there most of the time rattling around, you know. Sometimes you'd have to like take a Velcro strap and strap it to the top tube so it wouldn't rattle too much. You didn't use it that much anymore. I like having these little pumps. My pump is in my Essentials kit and it does the job. I can hit 80 PSI in my tire in 30 seconds. And that's good enough to ride. So it's good to see Logan with a pump as well, because I think that's just the way to go. We're approaching a four-way stop sign here. It dead ends on the left, so we usually just look to this side. It's clear, the group's going through the train. And in about a kilometer, we're going to go up that climb. It's about 3.5%. That's my head unit telling me the climb's coming. Now it basically said go. That's what it says. It gives you a display that says go. I'm like, please. I'm already going. Look at me. I'm just casually pedaling because I'm sitting in this draft, and Logan's a good sized guy, so it's like I don't have to work as hard unless I'm following somebody really small. So even though we're climbing here, we're really riding it very sensibly, and I think it's a combination of, I mean, look, 380 usually is like 450, 500 watts. So yeah, now we're going to 4 something. It just didn't seem as hard. I don't know what it is. I tried to look at my stats to see what was different. I don't know. Maybe because I didn't ride much during the week, I had fresher legs. That's Jerry. So Jerry's been sitting off the back on purpose. Now he's ridden up to the group. That's how he does his work. That's my head unit saying it took blah, blah, blah time to go up that corner. That's that noise. That's Thomas and a couple of other people back there that didn't want to go as hard. When the crash occurs, of course, they catch up to us because we're down there for a while, as you'll see shortly. In about probably 5 kilometers, it happens. 3 miles. So just imagine you're riding your bike, somebody runs into you from behind, and your bikes tangle up. That's why Jerry fell. The bikes locked up, and it caused Max to also run into Jerry. So 2 people ran into Jerry,
Close it up.
causing him to fall because his bike locked up. He could not continue riding. The wheels jammed each other. It wasn't just a touch. It was like they entangled. It was like, man. I go around them because Jerry likes to sit back on purpose. Then he will ride up really hard to catch the group. I don't want to sit behind him and have to put down big watts like he does. So that's why I rode around him back here. I always stay on the right on this side because it's smooth and I don't want to drift over the middle, because then you got to break dance or react when a car is coming. This is Southpine Boulevard. Yeah, it's a car. Now they're squeezing over. If you stay on your side of the road, you don't have to worry about the car. So you can see Jerry's back. So that means he had to put down big watts to ride and come and pass me. Then when he's done with what he's doing, he will back off again and then do it again. And you'll see him again on Mill Route. We'll be riding and he'll come up and go through the group and go to the front. That's the way he does his stuff. Gets his workout. So he's just riding and minding his business and somebody runs into him from behind. Oh, man. Yeah, gotta love it. Cycling.
Left turn.
That's not my first time seeing that. You know, we used to compete. It happened a lot. People get excited in these races like they're getting paid. I tell them, please, you're an amateur. They ain't paying you any money for this stuff. Can't hurt yourself. You got to go to work on Monday. So right here, somebody lifts the pace up front. And we're going to get a slight separation. And then we'll end up riding back to him. And then right after that, shortly after that, that crash happened. This is where we ride back to the groups. There were like maybe 5 or 6 riders that were separated, and we ride back up. So it's hard through here. We're doing about 23 miles an hour or so, and these things are lumpy. It says 1%. It's a little more around, especially around the curves. Yeah, now it says 2. So 2 to 2.5%, and it's repetitive. This guy's had enough. He pulled off to the right. He's had enough because he's been sitting in the wind for miles. The two of them, there's another guy in a colorful jersey. The two of them sit on either side of the line instead of getting in the line. You know, some riders are not very comfortable following others very closely. So you end up wasting energy. So we're going hard here. My heart rate says 172 beats per minute. So I'm entering zone 4. This is race pace. We have separation. The other rider that you saw pull off, they're not behind me anymore. That's why I don't turn the camera around. So that's the guy in the Borat jersey that's going to cause the crash. I think he's tired because his pedaling looked kind of labored right there on that bump. If you look at my RPMs, they're high because these guys are continually lifting the pace. And to save my legs, I just spin up. They lift the pace, then they turn off the power. You know, like in road races, that's what happens frequently. If you don't do it right, you get worn out. It's gonna happen right up there as we're going up that hill. The bottle falls. You will see the bottle come across, and somebody yells right about here, right about here, right here. There, boom. Somebody runs into Jerry, knocks him over. I flipped up, see my shoes already down. I'm standing, I'm holding my bike. I went over him, but I didn't hit the deck. My stem is all bent. I'm gonna show you the slow motion here. Look at Jennifer in the middle here. She sees it, she unclips, but she has nowhere to go because Logan was there. Both she and Logan ended up in the dirt. So she did it right. I'm standing. My bike didn't hit the ground. It's just low. So I told him to check himself. I asked him if he's okay. It's a slow motion. I think it ends here. And then we go back to real time.
Preston, check yourself.
I tell him to check himself. His phone's on the ground.
Bottle. Somebody lost a bottle.
Somebody overreacted to the
Now,
bottle.
Jerry can't get up because the bikes are still entangled back there. Somebody's disengaging the bikes. They got locked up. He ran into the back of Jerry and the bike's locked up. That's why Jerry fell. Normally, you don't fall when somebody hits you from the back.
I don't know.
Jerry's catching his breath.
Check yourself.
You okay, Jennifer?
I'm all right.
Preston?
Not the first.
So I didn't know at this point that my wheel had a bit of a dent in it, just a small one.
Check yourself, Preston. You hit the ground.
Where's Preston's bike?
Anybody hit their head?
I did, but it's on the side.
Well, there's brains in there too, I think. We got 2 bottles.
I couldn't
The
avoid you,
driver that was
Preston.
coming the opposite way saw all of this happen and slowed down. I'm trying to straighten my stem here. It's very tight, of course. And so I'm going to hold the wheel and just get it back in place.
I hit you.
That's what I'm doing right now.
I don't think
It still will not cooperate, but I'm going to force it.
Bars,
Need mouth to mouth.
my bars are bent. I need to. I need to straighten my bars.
Everybody okay?
So he's got some abrasions on his right side of his
I was able to go
left.
into the dirt, so I think
Both
I
she
avoided.
and Logan went into the dirt. Logan on clip,
Yeah,
he
a little
didn't
bit.
fall,
Alright
but
with that.
Jennifer fell, but she's fine. And that
I
was
thought-
smart. So she did a great job. You guys saw her on clip as she saw it. So
I
she
don't
was
think
thinking the
so.
whole time.
I saw the bottle rolling, but people overreacted.
Jerry was the one that he stopped first.
Yes, they hit wheels and then
He slowed.
Yeah, but Jerry slowed, but the person
Basically-
behind him should have drifted to the right instead of running into Jerry.
I didn't hit
He's
the
slow,
ground.
you
I
drift
was
to the
trying
right.
avoid
You
Preston,
don't run into him.
but I couldn't.
You slow down too.
I chose to go into the dirt so that I wouldn't hit Preston.
And then you stay upright that way. So he just froze. He couldn't do anything.
Oh yeah, I didn't fall. The whole thing happened in front of me, but Preston fell right in front of me. So my wheel hit him here on the hip,
When you're ahead of it.
and that's where my bars bent. I on clip, put my foot down. Oh yeah. The whole thing. That's what I'm saying. The bottle didn't cause the crash. The bottle was rolling, and then 2 people touched wheels. I think Preston may have hit Jerry's wheel. That's what caused it.
Preston ran over Jerry.
Touch of wheels after they saw the bottle.
Like a diesel will run
somebody
over you if you
overreacted.
mess with him.
Touch of wheel. I think Preston Preston hit his rear wheel, and then Preston went down. So I unclipped.
Oh, that's.
As you fell, I just unclipped, put my foot down, but I couldn't avoid Preston. But I didn't fall.
Yeah,
It's all on film, so tune in on Tuesday. Should be thrilling.
yeah. This is after we got everybody back, and then we rolling towards 2854, and then Preston's going to discover that he's got a broken spoke. His wheel has a bit of a wobble because he lost his spoke. My wheel was still trued. Until I got home, I didn't find the little dent that was in there. I'm going to put a shot of the dent here. So the carbon impressed me actually because I hit him pretty hard, and it held its trueness and everything throughout the ride. Everything I looked at it on the towing stand.
hand, I still did not fall. Mountain biking, man.
You got it on the tape.
It's on the tape. Everything. It happened right in front of me.
So what happened?
It,
With the yellow jersey drop a bottle?
Yeah, Preston hit Jerry. He hit,
Preston hit
Preston and Jerry. This
Yeah,
guy
this is
on the
Preston
right
on
with
the
Bora.
right. Preston's a little inexperienced. You just need more time and
Go ahead and
confidence.
check. I need to check my
riding.
front
That's all.
brake
It'll
too.
come with time.
It's
That's all.
rubbing
He panicked.
because I really hit
Jerry
him hard.
slowed down.
You
and
saw how my bars
he just
are
saw
bent?
that wheel coming up on him, and he
Can't
didn't know what to do.
What's wrong with his bike?
His wheel is wobbling.
Take it easy and then.
Well, get to Taco Corner. We can look at it. I got spoke wrench.
I see a broken spoke right here.
Oh, okay. Well, I can
I could
adjust
still
it to where it
adjust
will
it and
still
get him home.
not
but
rub.
He wanted to just turn around.
We'll take
All
him.
right.
We'll take him back.
You go back with him? Okay,
Jeff, I'm okay.
No, we're not going to let you go alone.
Why?
Because
just in case.
We're just not.
Just in case.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Thank you.
So Jennifer and John are gonna go ride back with.
All right, guys. Jennifer, are you okay? You okay?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Thanks for the abbreviated ride.
Yeah, it just happened in front of me like slow motion. There's nothing she could do. It happened in front of the two of us.
When I hear bikes and flesh hitting the pavement behind me,
It's all on film, though. It happened right in front of me. It's all on film.
Oh, you got it?
I was right behind you guys. There's nothing I could do because he just fell right there. So
It just fell right in front of
be
me.
safe. All right, guys. Okay.
I couldn't turn. It's just sudden. He just fell in front of me. There was no turning wasn't possible. It's just, so I just got ready and kept myself loose. Went over him, put my foot down. That's all you got to do. Because if you freeze up, then you can't. At this point in the ride, we're leaving the Keenan stop
what's going
near
on, man?
149 and Keenan-Cutoff. This is our second stop. It's later in the morning. It's like 34 Celsius, man. It's hot. About 92, 93 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're heading back. That's one reason why we're riding less duration, less miles, so we can get home before noon. So it's about 10:19 in the morning. So we've been out here for what, 3 hours and 20 minutes, let's say, with the stops and then the crashes and everything else. So yeah.
Far back.
So once the weather improves, we'll do longer rides. And there are people still doing long rides, but they're getting up early, like 4:35 in the morning. You know, Abby gets up pretty early. He starts his rides at 5. So I was out early, 5:45. That's what you have to do. Whatever part of the world you live in, if it's very hot, go out early. Because the morning is the coolest time of day with this thing we've been having. Usually the evenings cool off, but not since we got that high pressure dome. The evenings be like 100 degrees at 1700 hours, 5 p.m. It's 100 degrees. I ain't going out there. That's crazy. Might as well get on a trainer if you must ride. But in the morning, it's about 24, 28 Celsius, 75, that's 79 to 82 is our low. You know, usually. And it's still pleasant. In a little bit, Thomas is going to wave me up because Abby is really going pretty fast because this road is going to level up. Yeah, right there. He's going to wave me up so he can back off and hold his pace. We've come through Spring Branch and we didn't go slowly. So the ride has been fast. We have a new addition to our VH team. Her name is Tanya Blocker. Blocker, like the name from Dan Blocker, the guy who was on Bonanza that played Hoss. Those of you who watched Bonanza back in the day. And so Mike Barreras likes the name because he's a fan of Dan Blocker. So he made it clear to her, I like that name. And so we came back, we were typing on the board. I put 2 cyclists together. I said, okay, she's going to be blocking for the group. And he said, she looks strong enough to even pry her own gap. You know, it was just, after the ride, we just friendly banter. But she's a strong rider, very experienced. And so, nice addition to the group. Laura with her Ekoi kit. I haven't been able to wear my arm sleeves this summer. I've been wearing sunblock, that's it. Because I've been getting too hot. Laura's wearing arm sleeves and so is Abby. I give them credit. I haven't been able to tolerate it. And it's the same arm sleeves that I wore prior summers with no problem. So yes, it's hot this year. It's hotter. Yeah, Abby's forcing the pace here. We're doing 23 miles an hour, and I think it's, it says -1. Maybe I missed the graphics. So it's going to dip here. So, yeah, it says -2 that will level off. That will kick back up in a little bit. So we have these lumps. And then we go in the neighborhood, and there's even more. And you will see, I don't even know if I turn the camera around, but it gets hot and heavy in the neighborhood, and it's fun. I decided to just put the camera on the stick because I tried the wrist mount and the palm mount. They're okay, but when I shift, the camera flips. But this way, when I hold the camera, I can control the view better. You know, and from time to time we'll mount it. You know, I prefer to have the stick. I like to be able to show the gaps that happen, so you really feel like you're involved in the ride. The debris. I'm always looking around the rider I'm following. So when they point, I've already seen that stuff. It's a nice courtesy. Don't depend on riders pointing. Always make sure you can see around who you follow. Doesn't matter how large the bunch is. You need to be able to see what's coming, so you can anticipate. You saw Jennifer. She saw what was coming. She saw that bottle. And so she unclipped, but she just had nowhere to go because Preston fell right in front of her. She barely missed his head. You know? So she handled it like a pro. That's what you have to do. You make a decision. You see what's evolving in front of you. You say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then you go with it. You don't have time to make too many decisions. You pick one and go with it. And then you live with it. And then the next time it happens, you might do something differently. But whatever you do, make the decision quickly. Don't be second guessing yourself. Because you got a split second to make that decision. We just heard bottle. I saw the bottle rolling. And to me, it was not threatening. The bottle's rolling. Just don't hit the bottle. The bottle doesn't say run into somebody else. Preston's not going to live this down. If anything, you jump the bottle. You know what I'm talking about, you mountain bikers out there. You'd probably jump the bottle. That comes with confidence and bike handling skills and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how I didn't fall. I mean, I was on the hoods, and I guess that's why the bar twisted. I held my bike solidly because I knew I was going to hit him. And so my steering did not waver. I went over him like you'd go over a log. Because I didn't want to lift my bike and land on him. So I kind of rolled over him. And as soon as it got over him, the bike was straddling him. Then I put my leg down and leaned. And the bike, you saw it laying down. So it didn't hurt him or anything. I'm sure he had aches the next day. There's always muscles you pull when you fall. So these carbon wheels are pretty tough. I mean, you know, they get their little bad rep from the pros running into stuff and tearing them up. But yeah, I read up about some of it after the crash. I went and read up, you know, you can do an ultrasound and so forth. I tapped on it. The fibers are not loose. And, you know, most of the stuff I read said they're fine. Nothing's coming loose. So it's just a deformity there, and that's what they do. Because when they're ready to fail, they just break on you. But it takes a very high force. Yeah, right here, somebody put the power down. This is a grade, and we're doing 26, 27 miles an hour. This guy, like, he's had enough. He's going to catch back up at the gate. So from him, there's a couple of riders back there. I'm the caboose here on purpose because I want to film everything, and I'm just sitting here and watching. But we're going hard here. You see the watts, almost 400 watts. And you notice now, because we're going so hard, nobody's messing around. You see how tight the line is? So next week, that's what we're gonna have to do. We'll have to keep it hard so people can behave. All that foolishness about going to the side to show off. If we're doing 26, you'll have to do 30 to get up there to show off. Let's see how long you stay there. If you watch my cadence, as soon as it slows down, it goes down, because as soon as I turn the power off, I turn the power off. See, back to 0. Then we go again. That's why you got to be in a supple gear. So you rev like a Ferrari. You just rev. Otherwise, you tear up your legs. Save your legs. You rev. And when it's time to go, you can push. Because right now, you're playing around, accelerating and slowing down. Accelerating. I mean, I'm not holding anything steady. Please. You're looking around. I'm not sure what you're looking for. You better look in front of you. So I guess sometimes it's good when you can't ride, because I have some good legs on this ride. Very fresh legs. I'm sitting and watching these guys ride, and you saw the gap, how easily I closed it. That's the way it felt. It's like my legs were never under pressure. So sometimes it's good to miss some training sessions. So I'm the last rider here. We got a few riders off the back. When we get to the gate, some riders will get through and the rest of us get caught. So I go to the end of the code. Logan comes and says, you need to wait a few minutes before you enter the car. He wanted to take a break. I just smiled. Yeah. I knew what he meant. He said, just wait a little bit. Don't enter the code so quickly. Oh, man. That was a 5% bump that we went over. I did not waste my energy because the gate is coming right here. And it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to wait. Because once we get in the neighborhood, I know it's going to be hot and heavy. There are a lot of lumps in there. You got to save your energy for when it matters. Cycling is all about the timing. You know, there's no point sprinting before the finish line. Oh, man. So as we approach, the gate is closing. This gate does not mess around. It's like the train in our area. They try to run you over. That gate, you see that?
So that was like a show off, or?
That gate barely missed the last, whoever the last rider was. Look, he said, take your time. Logan wanted me to take my time to open the gate. So you get a chance to catch his breath. He hasn't been riding as much as he usually does. So, you know. And this ride has been fast.
I didn't see you.
He said, take your time. You will not see me run through that gate like that. That gate does not stop. There is no sensor. There's no child sensor, whatever. If you mess around, it will jam you in. So this guy is saying Thomas is back there. Yeah, we know Thomas is back there, but he's saying Thomas is back there because he needs a break. It's not about Thomas. Thomas is back there doing his own thing on purpose because he don't want to ride like these crazies. You know, so we're almost home. We know Thomas is fine. He knows the way home. So a lot of riders will look out for other people because they use that as an excuse to take a break. It's okay too, but we know it's like Thomas back there. I mean, I rode with Thomas in the forest. We came through. Laura had a flat. They finished it. We're close to home now. We're not gonna wait for Thomas here. He can ride home. We're about 12, 13 kilometers from home. This is the last, let's say 20K or something like that. He'll be fine. Thomas doesn't want us waiting for him because there's another hill we go over off camera. We call it out the west. Is the hill where we repaired the flat going the other way, and we go up that thing that we're crazy. We flew up that thing. Big watts. I just sit in here, I just watch and see what these guys are doing. Nice. I just got the camera. I said, that's a nice view here. People working. And then we're gonna get past Linda's place, and it's gonna get hot and heavy. The speeds are gonna be nice, and it's just, just a good ride, very good ride. So I got to get my A game together. This group is getting faster and faster. I can't be missing 2-3 sessions a week and then showing up. It's too much for the body. And I'm not missing it because I don't have the time. It's just I have other things I get into, and I wake up in the morning and I'm tired, and I'm not gonna go train and I'm tired, So if I do ride, it's just easy, But I just didn't feel like getting out the door. You know what I mean? And when my out the door is not there, I just take the day off, do something else. I want to enjoy my rides. But these kind of rides motivate me. I had a lot of people come on the channel and they'll put on there, your videos make me want to go out and ride. They do the same for me, folks. These rides make me want to go out and ride because we do this on Saturday. I got to do something the next week to get ready for the next Saturday because the word is out. There are more and more people joining this group. The group is getting faster. It's more fun. Plus, we got a faster group in the area. Most group, when they come by, we got to be able to at least stay with them for a bit. So we got reasons to keep pushing. Got to push. Sometimes you got to push. So, you ride hard on Saturday, and then Sunday you can ride by yourself, recover. So the group rides are good to give you a goal. Just like people use races as goals. You can use a fast group ride as a goal to say, hey, I'm going to go do some intervals this week and get ready for Saturday. Because it's how these guys ride. So whatever it takes to motivate you to push yourself, that's what it's all about. Because it's not always easy getting out to go work out. That's why you should never allow an irate driver to ruin your ride. It's hard enough going out to go ride, but don't let them ruin your ride. Just de-escalate it, let them go on by their business. You went out to ride your bike. You're not laying claim to the road. It's a public utility for everyone. Let them go on by their business, and you just focus on getting your workout and going on with the rest of your day. There's just certain people you can't teach. You have to learn the hard way. This is fast. We're doing about 25 miles an hour, and we're going into the wind, folks. The wind is blowing from the south. I'm not sure if it's southeast or southwest. It seems to be everywhere. We've lost a few people around that corner when the pace picked up. I didn't have time to turn the camera around because it's on. We're doing almost 30 miles an hour here. And you notice as soon as they stop, I stop. My RPMs go to 0. That's the way you ride when you're in the proper gear, because you can just rev it back up when you need to. I'm not doing much shifting. I'm in the gear I need to be in, and I just rev it. And when we get up there where the lumps pick up, yeah, we'll downshift. Like right here, we're coasting. I think there's a bump, like a speed bump. I just point to those things. I don't yell. Too much noise. I think it startles people. I like yelling. Like somebody yelled, "Bottle!" when the crash happened. Like, that doesn't tell me where the bottle is. Point to the bottle. And what I'm doing back here is I'm going to room. As the wind seems to be coming from the left a little more than the right, I'm going to sit on Max's wheel here for a bit. Then in a little bit, I'm going to end up going behind this guy's wheel, I believe, in the block. Because the wind will shift from the south. I'm always looking for the draft. So right here, I've got a nice little cove. I got two guys pushing the air. Hey, we're doing about 27 miles an hour, so I got two guys pushing the air, so I'm just chilling. You can see my heart rate is not even in that sweet spot. That's the benefit of being in a draft and being in good condition. All those long rides we did many, many winters ago, all of that adds up. It's in the bank. You don't lose it. That's my wheel. He's drifting over. I'm there. I mean, he's going to end up moving back. This is my wheel. I ain't moving over. You better hold your line. Oh, man. Because he didn't get on Max's wheel with conviction, so I figure I can come back and take that wheel. If you're going to take the wheel, you got to take the wheel. Get in the position. But he's looking for shelter, and there's no shelter on the right now. This road is going straight east, and the wind is coming from the south. So I'm gonna, in a little bit, I'm gonna get on this side. I think right here. Yeah. So I'm in shelter right now, right here. These two guys are punching the air. Max is catching the air. We're gonna end up passing Max, and I don't know if he ends up, because he's spending a lot of energy where he is. Everybody else is. You see how quiet it's gotten? Yeah, that's because I'm in shelter. The camera's not even picking up wind. That's the way you got to ride. I'm on this guy like white on rice. Because right here is not about this stretch. I'm thinking about the last hill. So every ounce of energy I save here, I save it to go up that last hill. I mean, when you're in top condition and your training is consistent, you can mess around. But with my spotty schedule, I was like, no. You notice the guy who was on the left is no longer in the frame. He wasted so much energy, he's back there. It all adds up. You got to save it. Timing. Because these guys didn't let up. We're still flying. And listen how quiet it is. I'm looking for that brand. And Max is fighting the wind where he is. He's the only one out of shelter. I'm starting my little echelon back here because the wind is coming more and more from the right. This road must move a little. This guy's going to stand. That's why he flicked his elbow. I don't do that. I just stand. I stand where my bike does not go back. So Max is finally moving up on somebody's wheel, Abby's wheel. This is how you get fast. You got to ride with fast riders. Because you can only do so many intervals. Mentally, it's just hard to always push yourself. You know. Within reason. And now the wind has changed because of these trees. So now I'm on the right and I'm going to go by Shabusan here. You see that? You have to use the conditions. It's easier moving through the pace line when the conditions allow you to where you don't have to blow your tank to get through. So I don't know what you did on Saturday, but this is what we did. Remember, get your K's in and keep the doctors fired.